Hey everybody. Sorry, I had to do a little last minute adjustment to get some more light in here because as you can see, I'm not on location again. Can you believe it? It is Chicago, it is March, and it is snowing again. That should not be the shocking part. But it has not snowed in a while, and I've scheduled a live event from the antique shop, and suddenly this big snowstorm comes through. I debated trying to make the drive, but it's one of those cases where like it just started here within the last couple of hours, but it's supposed to get into that really wet, heavy stuff. And I really did not want to get stranded at the antique shop. So I decided, you know what? We're just going to do it live from home. And so I will still do a sale. I happen to actually have quite a bit of jewelry of my own that I had sourced since the last sale when I ended up selling all my jewelry that sale because I couldn't get to the antique shop. So it's not some ploy to get people to show up to buy jewelry when I don't have any jewelry to sell. I just can't get to why do I keep saying quilt shop? I can't get to the antique shop again. So it's just one of those things. So tonight, for those of you who are joining me specifically for jewelry, I will start off my sale with all of the jewelry that I had. I have 8 pieces of jewelry. So I will start with all of those so that if you were hoping for 2 hours of just vintage jewelry selling, you can I'll do these 8 items and then you can go, spend your evening someplace else. But if you'd like to stick around, I did a little bit better job of organizing some things. If you've been following my Instagram channel, I did a ton of sourcing while I was traveling on this last trip, way too much, like to the point where I'm like, what was I thinking? I have so much I now need to sell. So I did organize some things to actually have a traditional sale. And I've got a bunch of events coming up that I'm trying to start offloading some of the stuff that I bought. So thanks for joining me tonight. Again, not on location tonight. I don't know, Debbie, Debbie from Chicago is here. I'm like right near the line where the snow was going to stop, but the antique shop is north of me, so I'd have been driving into it. So I just decided not to get stuck at the antique shop tonight. So Jerry's joining us from Michigan. She's used to the snow. I should be used to the snow, but I am absolutely getting to that point where I'm of the age. I'm wondering if I should be snowbirding. We've really, knock wood, we've actually had a really mild winter here in Chicago to the point I shouldn't really be complaining, but because it's been so nice and we can go stretches without anything, when it hits, I just get super, super annoyed. And it's not even so much the cold. I don't mind the cold. It's the snow and the ice. I guess I'm just getting too old. I want to drive through it. And we got Stephanie coming in from Thrifting Adventures. Hey, Stephanie. So she doesn't probably get a lot of snow either on the West Coast. And she's Pacific Northwest, but I don't think they get a lot of snow up there. But the snow stopped me from going to the antique shop again tonight. So for those of you who are joining me, oh, yep. So you're probably getting the snow that's coming through now because ours just hit, I think in my area, it just started snowing literally only a couple of hours ago, but it's supposed to snow for a while. And it's supposed to be one of those really wet, heavy snows. And that's what I just know when I get to the antique shop, it's kind of in a little like touristy downtown walking area that pretty much rolls up the sidewalks at 5 o'clock. So if it continues to snow and get the 5 inches that they're anticipating, which isn't that bad, I'm not going to be plowed. Like the streets are not going to be plowed. The sidewalks are not going to be shuffled. There'll be no way for me to get out of there. So I just am staying in my nice warm location here. And again, I will start with the jewelry that I had that I was going to be selling at the store. So those of you who just came for the jewelry can start out with me and then move on. But if you want to stick around, I do have some other items to sell as well. And see, Dawn is an Illinois girl at heart. So she misses the snow. Maryland does get snow. And I lived there for 2 years, and we probably only maybe like 3 times did we get any substantial snow. But it's one of those cases Maryland considers itself a southern state. They are south of the Mason-Dixon line. They really don't get enough snow to invest in, snow plows and salt trucks and anything to actually deal with the snow. So when it snows even just a couple of inches, the roads just become treacherous, and it just doesn't snow very often. So Maryland, probably you haven't had a lot of snow this year. Dawn, you can have it, and you're welcome to come back to Illinois anytime and shovel it up and take it with you. You did get some, Stephanie did get some snow on the West Coast. So yeah, it's weather is just crazy at anymore. You just can't count on it. I know when I was trying to do my trip, again, I'm from Illinois, born and bred. And, we're very flat. I grew up in a town called Plainfield, and that was not an oxymoron. It was just plain fields. So driving to the East Coast, I had to drive through the mountains, and that there was like high wind warnings, and I was far enough south that we never had to deal with snow, but I deal with rain. And then as I was coming back, I was trying to avoid like all the different places where snow. So technology is a lovely thing, because I could sit there and say, okay, I'm going to stick around Cincinnati a little bit longer, because by that time the storm will have passed through Indianapolis, so that by the time I drive to Indianapolis, it'll have cleared, and it all pretty much worked out. But this is just not a fun time to travel. It's not a fun time to do a lot of things. And I don't enjoy anything in the snow. Like, I don't ski. I don't do anything in the snow that makes it enjoyable to live here. So just want to, yeah, Rebecca's in Maine. So she's like, what are you people complaining about? You know what snow is. And it's only March. Like, we've had days in the 70s here in Chicago. And then when I was on this trip, when I was in Virginia, the trees were budding, the plants were starting to come out of the ground already. I mean, obviously it's a much warmer climate there. It's just like, okay, yeah, we're ready. Spring should be here. How many weeks ago was it the Puxatawny Phil saw a shadow? Like, we should be done now. But it's not quite there. So that's Tim's here from Canada. Thanks so much, TFA, for Tim coming in. And also probably deals with snow on a regular basis. I actually don't know what part of Canada you're in, but pretty much all of Canada, it would be covered by snow pretty much all the time. So, again, we complain, or I complain, and people just, shut up. Hey, Yvonne, thanks for popping in. So what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and start with the jewelry, since that's what I promised. I did the promotions that I was going to be doing the live sale of jewelry at the antique shop, because I didn't want to deal with getting to the antique shop and getting stranded in the snow. I will sell this jewelry first, but I did better organize myself than the last time I got caught off guard and had to do a sale from here. I did actually price some other things. And again, if you're following me on Instagram, you know that I've been traveling. You've seen some of the hauls that I've done. If you're following me on Instagram, I started this new thing. I've talked about it a couple of times. There was a trend started. Ironically, she started it and doesn't seem to be doing it anymore. But she was by my forgotten sister thrifter, I think it is, or thrifter sister thrift, whatever it is. She started this, I think, back in December, and it's 90 seconds of vintage. You do a 90-second video and you sell things during that video. I have done a video every day this week, including earlier this evening. They are theoretically easier to do, but it's not really realistic to edit a 90-second video. So like, I should do a video of just all of my outtakes, because I'll start filming it like, damn it, and I have to change it. But I have done tin types. Today's is souvenir postcard folders. I've done CDVs. I've done Broadway programs. I'm trying to think. I think I've done 5 so far this week. So part of it's trying to feed the algorithm of Instagram to get more. So there's going to be things being sold on that. I may not do that on the weekend. That might be just a weekday thing. We'll see if I keep going with that, but I want to give it a try. I've sold a handful of things, not as well as I would have hoped, but so a bunch of stuff is showing up there. Tomorrow and Saturday on Instagram, there will be the Paper Nerd 41 sale. So that's a hashtag, Paper Nerd 41, all one word. So if you're on Instagram, follow that hashtag. I will be posting all ephemera on that sale. And so, some things that maybe don't sell tonight, some of the things that I posted on the 90 Days of Vintage. And Tammy is here. Tammy Renee Walker is one of the people who's purchased things from me on the 90 Seconds of Vintage. So thank you so much for doing that. Things that haven't sold earlier in the week might show up in the Paper Nerd 41. So that'll be Friday and Saturday. And Paper Nerd 41 is a Paper Nerd is a thing. I participated in it usually every other month. I'll try and do it. It's all paper, hence the name. And it's this month, there's 45 sellers who are participating in it. So you can follow the hashtag, and they'll be posting things throughout the day on Friday and Saturday. When they do a Friday, Saturday, it changes a little bit. When they do a Friday, Saturday tends to have more posts, because people feel it's, more people will be shopping on the weekend. But, it's first to claim. So whatever you see, make sure you follow the hashtag and you'll see that. Next Tuesday, I will be on Scott's channel, Old Curiosity Shop. We're not doing a sale, but I will be on his channel, and I'll actually be showing some of the stuff that I got We're going to be showcasing some ephemera, our favorite ephemera, and I'll be doing some of the stuff that I purchased along the trip, this last trip. And then next Thursday, Beth from Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties is hosting the next Shop Hop. And so that will be on Thursday night. I think there are 10 people who are participating in that one, myself included. Those are drop sales here on YouTube. So just you can jump from channel to channel. Mine will be dropping at this time. So it'll drop at the normal time that I've been trying to have my shows. So that'll be next Thursday. So I'll have a bunch of things. I need to sell some of the stuff that I've been buying. So if you want to help me out, I really appreciate it. So I will start out with the jewelry. Again, apologize that I'm not at the shop, but hopefully I've got some nice pieces of jewelry that you guys will like. And I'm going to start off with this piece is signed, and I, of course, forgot to look really quickly to see what it was. This one is Sarah Coventry. It is a coral color and lime color stone brooch. It does not, and check really quick. Yeah, it does not glow. Little green stones do not glow. It has that little bead set work, for the metal work. The stones appear to be prong set, but the prongs aren't actually holding anything. So the individual stones are actually glued into place. It is signed on the back, Sarah Coventry, with a nice broad pin back to this one. So the Sarah Coventry coral and green brooch is $15. And you can get that by giving me number 23. So Sarah Coventry, $15, number 23. The next piece I thought was really cool. Hey, Sandra. I thought this was really cool. It's a little confusing, and hopefully I'll be able to open it while I'm on the channel here. But I'll start with showing what it is. So you've got what looks like a German Shepherd on the end of a pin that has a clip to it. So I don't know if anybody's seen any of these and if you know what they actually are. But this pin, you can see the pin is kind of sticking out of the little ball part. It pivots, and if you pull it just the right way, the little dog pin comes out. But it's a very short pin. And thank you, Sandra. I do see you for the Sarah Coventry. So it's a very, very short pin. I mean, you could still do it as a lapel pin, but it's really, really short. And then, so what I'm not sure is what you do with it, because then you could pin it into your lapel and then put this back on it. And then this is like a little alligator clip. So when I bought it, even the person who was selling it was saying, oh no, you just clip it on and it just dangles. Well, if you do that, the dog would be upside down. So it's not the way it works. So it seems like it's something that should pin onto your lapel or pin somehow. But then here's the other part. So let me put the dog back in so I don't lose him. So he kind of goes in there. And so Christy Allen is saying a tie tack. And that was one of the suggestions that was made at the store. But Jerry was saying what I was wondering. But here's where the problem comes in. The whole thing just seems to be designed backwards, because I want to get rid of the message so you can see it. So let's just assume that this is on your lapel. This would then be the sweater clip to go across, but look, it clips the opposite direction. So it seems like if it was a sweater clip, the chain would attach to the back part of the clip. So then you would be clipping on the opposite side, and then you would be able to, have this little thing. So I just don't know. Okay, so Christy is saying it would then clip under the tie to your shirt, which that would get rid of the chain, because the chain's relatively short. So if you did that, if you pin, let's just assume I'm wearing a tie. So if you pin that to the tie, you're saying you would then slide this and it would clip to your shirt, which that actually would make a lot of sense. So maybe this is a men's piece of jewelry. So I think it's pretty cool. I didn't really know what it was. Because I didn't know what it was, I did kind of pay up for it, but it was a dog and I just thought he was cute, and I just never seen anything like it before. But I think you're right, Christy. I think you're right. it's at least a good guess. I don't know if anyone's ever seen anything like this. Scott and I talk a lot about, asking people, well, what do you think it is? And this is also kind of gets into a scope of things. Like Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop has, 25,000 viewers. So when he asks a question and says, hey, what do you think this is? He will have 100 people all at telling them their answer. And they're always just guessing. And so he has to like funnel through all these guesses and research them to figure out which one's right. I'm like, look, when I ask that question, I get, I've got 27 of you and I love all of you that you're watching right now, but I don't have 100 people that are going to give me their responses. So I like getting some feedback because you guys will have seen this more than I did. So I'm just selling this for what I thought it was kind of cool. And I did pay up for a little bit, but I still feel like I'm selling this for $10. So whether it's a tie clip where you turn it into something else, you could like attach it to a little flower and you give a little corsage holder. You can do whatever you want with it. But I think it's a German Shepherd. That's my guess, but I don't know. With a little gold tone German Shepherd, and it's not marked in any way. It's $10, and you can get it by giving me number 63. So $10.63 for the little dog brooch. All right. So I guess I'm going to do all the jewelry first. So those of you who joined me specifically for the jewelry can move on if you are so inclined. Next piece I thought was really pretty. This is a silver tone, and now I can't remember if this one was signed. This one is, I learn things from different people all the time. And this is one of the things I learned from, hey, Val, this is one of the things I've learned from Katie, Adventures in Vinyl, is that when you have the riveted back with the V or U shape, that you get a nice age. Okay, Jerry is picking up the dog pin thing. And I will just tell you, when I typed up, I was more organized this time. So when I typed up the little sheet, I literally have typed in number 63, weird dog pin is how I have tagged that. So, and thank you, Karen, for pointing that out. So thanks, Jerry, from My Flea Market Treasures, for picking up the weird dog pin. Doesn't make him any less cute, but that is yours for $10. Okay, so this one with the riveted back, she said more of a 50s or 60s, so it's a nice way to show its age. I think the design is also a nice way to show its age. So when I first saw it, I was thinking, is that a poinsettia? But then I was kind of looking at the vines in the background, and I don't think it is. I think it's just, I don't know, like, I'm not sure because of the way the center is done exactly what kind of flower. Like, is that just a daisy? But I don't think a daisy would have the little like circle there. But the circle, the way it's done is it looks like those are little stones at the end. It's not. I'm trying to hold it in a way you can see it. It's just the way the metal has been cut and then curved. It's kind of giving that stone-like appearance. Just, it's really cool. So there is the center stone, and it is not a prong set that appears to be glued in, but it does again have the riveted back. So I picked this up on my trip, thought it was totally cool, needed to replenish the jewelry so I could have stuff for this next sale. And so here it is. And this is $10. So the little silver tone 50s, 60s brooch, you get this one for $10 by giving me number 7. $10, number 7 for the silver tone floral brooch. All right. Next one, I meant to look this up and to be sure, but you guys are, so Karen is picking up the silver tone brooch. Excellent. Thanks, Karen. Because I think I know what this is, but I have a feeling you guys will know for sure. Well, first of all, it's a brooch, and it's got a simple pin back. It does not have, I was going to say, I was trying to remember. This one does not have the safety clasp. This one just has the little C hook. So theoretically makes this one a little bit older. Oh, Cassandra's saying that one could be a sunflower. Oh, that would make sense. I guess because it's silver, that didn't cross my mind. I would think that'd be more of like a yellowish, but that actually is kind of like what it looks like. So anyway, so this one has the C holder. So it's a little bit of an older clasp. It is not marked on the back. There is some oxidation on the back, because again, I do believe this piece has some age. And it has the nice little open work back. And what I think that is an abalone shell. So I think it's a shell, but it's one of those, like, I don't think it's mother of pearl specifically because it has more coloration to it. I think, is that one of the ones that's considered an abalone, or is that there's another shell name that goes into jewelry that I think it starts with a P? I just thought this was very simple. It's very small. So, it would be a very small lapel pin. Just a really sweet, but it's just, I like the color variation because it's got a little bit of purple in there along with the gray. So it's just kind of got a neat, and then if you really look closely, you can see that even the simple backing has been done in a way that it makes it look like it's almost faceted. Like they put some design work into it to make the really simple piece, pop a little bit. So it's a very small shell pin. Oh, hey, Scott, we were just talking about you. Very simple holding. Powie, that's the word. So is this a Powie shell or is this abalone? And so Tammy Renee Walker said it looks like abalone. And Karen is probably answering my question about Powie. So I don't know if it necessarily matters. It's still an attractive piece, but it's one of those I like to know. And, I come across mother of pearl stuff all the time, and this is not the color of that. So I was thinking abalone, but maybe it's Powie. But regardless, it's a lovely little pin, and it is $9. And you can get that by giving me number 13. $9 for a little shell brooch, for giving me number 13. All right. Next one is probably the favorite piece that I picked up because it's just, because I don't deal with jewelry all the time. To me, this is something I'd never seen before. Thanks, Tammy. And I will combine that with the items that you purchase through the 90 seconds of vintage. I'll just ship it all together. So thank you. And that's why I hadn't done some of the invoices even from last week, because I was doing that 90 seconds of vintage. Plus I was going to do this. I will just combine everyone's shipping. So thanks, Tammy, for picking that up. So this one I've never seen before. You guys might say, oh yeah, that's totally common. But check this out. It is a horse brooch. So I'll show you the back. It's got a very long, very wide stabilizing back pin back with the safety clasp. But under the glass is a little image of a horse that I think is an enameled piece. I'm not sure what that is. We can see the little dome, and you've got the horse under it. And then the whole thing is just the bridle and the horseshoes. So it's just an absolutely adorable horse-themed brooch. So you've got, again, underneath the glass, you've got the horse design. Keep getting a glare, so I apologize for that. Trying to figure out how, there we go. A little dark now, but I've got the glare off of it. So you can see how what the horse looks like underneath the dome. And then the bridle on both sides, and then the horseshoes. It is, I brought out my little measuring thing here. It is 2.35 inches. So a little over 2¼ inches long. So I just thought that was a really sweet piece. Really liked that. And I know people like their horses, and it's just, it's not flashy, but it's subtle. It's classy. I just think that that's just one of those little classy pieces. So the horse bridle piece is $18. You can get that by giving me number 16. $18, number 16 for the horse bridle pin. Next one is this one I was excited about because it is not marked with the maker, unfortunately, but it is marked sterling. So we've got the sterling mark here on the back of the wishbone. So we have a sterling silver wishbone pin that has been polished in a way to, again, kind of give that faceted silver tone polish. So you kind of get that little reflection, even though there's no stones or anything on this, just gives you a little bit of schnaz. And it has a safety clasp to it. That works fine, closing it up. And you can see it goes off the top. So theoretically, you would hold the pin, it would pin it this way. I mean, I guess you could try and pin it. I don't know if there's an appropriate, like horseshoes are supposed to go up. I don't know if wishbones have a specific direction they're supposed to go, but based on the way the pin back is, I'm assuming it's supposed to go horizontal like this. So this is a sterling silver wishbone brooch, You get him for $12 by giving me number 78. $12.78 for the little Wishbone brooch. All right. The next one, this is a little bit different. Again, I was going to mix this up with all the other jewelry that I had at the shop, so I could kind of go in with some other pieces. But this was another fun thing that I found. And technically it's jewelry. It's just not quite into the glam jewelry that everyone's used to. I take it out of a little baggie. This is a pair of Red Cross pins. So we've got the one that says "We serve," and then we've got the other one that says "I serve." So I'm selling them together. The "We serve" has quite a bit of age to it. I got this as part of some other pins that I'll be selling later that still had the paper labels on the inside. Unfortunately, the horse pin was 16, and the wishbone pin was 78. So some of them had the paper inserts that they were all from around World War I. So I believe these are also from World War I. So we've got the "We serve," which has a little bit of roughness to it, and the "I serve," which is much cleaner. But both of them still have their pin backs in place. So they are still functional pins. And okay, Karen's picking up the horse bridle pin. Thanks, Karen. And so the little pair of Red Cross pins you can get for $8 for the pair. And that is by giving me number 77. $8, number 77 gets you the Red Cross pair of pins. All right. I thought I turned off my furnace, and evidently I didn't. So let me do that really quick so that I can hear, so that you guys aren't hearing that. And then the last piece I have is technically crossing into not jewelry, but I think it still qualifies, and the people that like jewelry will like it. This is an absolutely gorgeous Estee Lauder box. So it still has some of the product in it. And it's got the mark at the top. It also still has the label on the back. So it says on here, it was something treasures was what it said. So it's Youth Dew Jeweler's Treasure Solid Perfume Compact, Estee Lauder, made in the USA. So these were reproduced in the 80s, but this is the original one, and you can tell based on the way they are marked. The reproduction ones were actually marked as reproduction. But they weren't really reproduction. They were just reissued. But so you've got kind of the agate stone top with the little blue cabochon set into the corner of it. Both stones are in perfect condition. There are no cracks. There are no chips off of them. The gold tone is still in beautiful shape. The box itself still functions beautifully. And like if we had smell-o-vision, you could actually smell the scent of this product. And I'll just say, it makes me think of my mother. I remember she used to have lockets and stuff that would have that solid perfume that you'd wear. And as a kid, that scent, it's a very specific smell. So this one I planned on putting on eBay because they do sell for very, very nicely on eBay. But because I didn't have a lot of jewelry, since I wasn't going to be at the shop tonight, I'm throwing this into my jewelry offering, and I'm going to give us better price than I would if it were on eBay. I'm going to sell it here for $25. So the Estee Lauder Jeweler's Treasure, $25 by giving me number 95. So those are the 8 jewelry pieces that I had available that I could sell tonight. So again, I do apologize if you missed the very beginning. Yet again, just like the last time I tried to go to the antique shop to have a sale, a snowstorm came through today. It's still snowing right now. And I was concerned I wouldn't be able to get out of the antique shop after the sale was over tonight, because it's like a little touristy area and they really wouldn't be doing the sidewalks or the parking lots. So I decided to sell from here. So I have other items, but if you had come specifically looking for the jewelry, that ends the jewelry sale. and I'm going to move on to some other pieces. And some of them are pieces that I picked up along the way on the trip. Some you have seen, some you have not. And the next one I'm going to offer is the very first piece of Blanco I think I've ever come across. And it's beautiful blue color. So it is a Blanco bottle. It is blown, it has the pontil on there, and it has the etched Blanco name right on there. So you know exactly what it is. It has a ground area in the top. So when I looked online, it did appear that this is supposed to have a stopper to it. So unfortunately, where I picked it up, it no longer had the stopper. And trust me, I dug. It was one of those thrift stores that had everything organized by color. I scoured the blue section to try and find it. And then I got desperate and just started going through every section to seeing if depending, because the stopper is actually fairly large, but depending on what once was in there, if it got separated, and I never could find one. So it is still a beautiful piece. If you happen to be, thrifting yourself, or you could even, the stoppers do sell individually online as well. I just decided to go ahead and sell this, simply on my own. It is an absolutely gorgeous color. I did look it up at the time, and now, of course, I can't think of the name of it because I'm not familiar with Blanco. I think it's House, Houz was the style. And they referred to it as a bottle because of the stopper. And as I was doing the research, I had not taken into consideration Blanco is made in West Virginia. And guess where I found this? West Virginia. So I did find other pieces of Blanco while I was on the trip, like more than I've ever seen. But because they kind of know what it is, most of the pieces were pretty much all their money when I was looking them up. This one, I think because the stopper was missing, they had knocked it down in price. So I could get it at a reasonable price. So I'm selling it here for less than I will list for it on eBay, because even without the stoppers, these things are selling on eBay fairly regularly. And this color didn't seem to come up as often. So this gorgeous blue color is $35 for the Blanco bottle, $35. You can get it by giving me number 54. $35, 54 for the Blanco blue bottle. Say that 10 times fast. All right. So, and I also want to get rid of some of the big things because I do not have room to store them. I have so much stuff that I bought, but I do have a lot of smalls because they're easy to ship. That'll probably go in the booth. If it doesn't sell here, it'll send to the booth because I don't really relish shipping it. All right. This next item, I picked this up on the trip as well. And this one, if you know, I do community theater. I've done different shows. The minute I saw this, the little wood puzzle, I thought of my show Mamma Mia, because I believe this is like one of those Greek touristy pieces, and it's a puzzle. So the little pieces slide out, and you just have a very simple puzzle, but you have a puzzle. And so you've got the blue, there's kind of like a dark brown. So there's 1, 2, 3, looks like it's a 5-piece puzzle. And then there's actually a little piece over here that's separate. So there's 2 pieces here. So like 7-piece puzzle. Just a cute little piece, very lightweight, very Greek Isles. It is $6. So $6 for the little Greek Isle puzzle. $6 by giving me number 76. $6.76 for the little Greek puzzle. All right. Keeping track of the things that have not sold so I can try and offer them later. Oops, there goes the wishbone. All right. I did get a lot of paper stuff. So I have several of those things to offer. So one of the things I offered, I thought was very cool. I think these are cool in general. I actually considered, I didn't have enough, but I considered hanging these on my Christmas tree. People collect the vintage bridge tally cards. So I found these. So they are bridge tally cards, but if you look really carefully, those are actual feathers. So I was checking out at the antique. I actually got these at an antique shop. I was checking out at the antique shop and checking these. She's like, "Oh my God, where'd you find these?" She told me all about them. She said these are considered, it's just called feather art, not particularly original in the name, but she's like, it's called feather art, primarily made in Mexico, and she collects it. So she was actually devastated that she did not see this. So I actually, there were a couple other pieces in here. that I'm selling in my booth. And those are the place cards that would kind of go along with these. They were just little individual place cards. I actually gave her one. They were really inexpensive. The person selling them, considering there's 12 here, and then I think there were 6 of the place cards. I gave her one because she thought they were super cool, and she was totally bummed that she didn't get one. So I gave her one. So I'm like, hey, pass it on. Pay it forward. So this is a set of 12. There's some similarities, but pretty much there's different designs, and they're all done by hand. So I'm not sure how they did the coloring in the background. There's a little bit of a texture to it, but it feels kind of like a colored pencil almost. But you can see, I can move him. See, the tail is still loose. Like, so this is feather art. I'd never seen it before. And she said that it's not common, but she does collect it. And she said she'd never seen them in like little pieces like this. She says she usually sees them in like vintage frames, like 5x7. It was the smallest that she'd ever seen. So she just loved the fact that these were so small. So it's a set of 12 of these that if you wanted to, use them as bridge cards, knock yourself out. You could use them as bookmarks, or, if you want to, you could cut off the bridge part of the bottom and you would just have a little square piece of art that you could frame in like the little frames that they sell for postage stamps. These would look adorable framed. And like, just check that one out. I mean, the colors on these, they all have the same. That's what I like about it. And that's why I'm not separating these. They all have that same colored background. So they clearly were all done to go together, because how many people play bridge? 4. So, and there's 12. So they were done to sell as a set. So I'm selling them as a set, and I got them at a good deal. So you're going to get them at a good deal. So all 12 of these you can get it's $1.50 each. You get them for $18. So $18 for the set of bridge tally cards, $18 by giving me number 64. $18.64 for the bridge tally set. All right. Another piece of art that I picked up. I love raku pottery. One of the things I used to do with my daughter when she was growing up, there's an art, it's not a compound, makes it sound like a bunch of hippies, but it's like an art collective, and they all do different types of visual arts. And there's a fine arts painting, a building like for painting. There's a blacksmith shop. There's a ceramic studio. And every summer they would do they would do a raku day. So you could go and you could get a piece of pottery and you could make your own raku. This is not one that I made. This is one I found along the line, but I just love the color that this one got. They gave it a really dark color on it, but then look what they did on the inside. I didn't even know that was possible. Like, that glaze that they gave it on the inside is absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of like a really dark green with a modeling color to it. And then they did the kind of rope addition that's glued on. Like, it's kind of flexible, but it's glued into place. And you can see there's kind of like a brass or copper wire that's twisting through the rope that they decorated it with. So it's a small piece. It's only 3.43 inches tall. So it's like 3.5 inches tall. But it's absolutely gorgeous. And just the way it's done, it is signed, but this kind of pottery is very difficult to know. Like, I couldn't find that. It looks to me like an M and an H, or it could be an H and a W. I'm not sure. So, pretty much I love the Great Pottery Showdown. If you ever watch that, it's a fantastic show. They have a raku episode every year. It's a great little piece. I just love it. I think it's super decorative, super attractive. I do not need to add anything more to my collection. So I'm selling this one, and it is $15. So $15 for a little piece of raku. And that is by giving me number 50. $15, number 50 for the little raku vase. All right. That just dropped to the floor and I can't reach it, so we'll save that for later. All right, so the next piece, this I thought was really fun. Easter is coming. I tend not to do a lot of stuff for holidays other than Christmas, just because I'm usually not motivated or organized enough to be able to sell anything during the actual holiday. But hey, Easter is coming. It's April 9th and it's only March 9th, so I'm actually doing this relatively early. So what these are their individual they're postage stamps from Gambia, but they are from 1984, and they are all Disney Easter themed stamps. So you've got Mickey with basically like telling the chicken to hurry it up and lay some more eggs. There are 9 of these. You got Goofy, who's got polka dot paint decorating the eggs. You've got another Goofy with a roller painting his eggs. Mickey and Minnie doing a gigantic egg with a dragon. You've got Huey, Dewey, and Louie painting eggs. You got Pluto painting eggs with his tail. You've got Chip and Dale doing their egg, portrait egg. You've got Donald Duck spray painting or airbrushing. And my favorite, Scrooge McDuck, is painting his eggs gold. So you've got 9 of these. These would be great for, you could do it as a craft project. But again, to me, these end up being, if you get those little small, like 2-inch by 2-inch frames, these would just look great framed up. Or you get one of those long frames and like land them together. It's just a totally different kind of Easter decoration. And how many of your friends are going to have Easter egg decorations that are stamped from Gambia? Like, this is just not something you're going to come across every day. So the set of 9 loose stamps you can get for $10. $10 for the set of stamps. And you get that by giving me number 73. $10, number 73 for the set of Disney Easter stamps. All right. I think there's some Disney in here, so we'll stick with Disney. So this was something else I had the opportunity to pick up, and I broke them up into sets to make them a little bit less expensive to sell. But what they are little, again, for people that want to do like art projects, decoration projects, home decor. They are the 45 album sleeves of a bunch of children's art. So each one, hey, Halem. So each one is going to come with this little glassine page that I really don't know what this is. There was just a set of 3 of them. I have 3 sets that I'm selling, so I just kind of divvied them up. They're kind of the same size of an album, and they were with the stacks. I'm assuming maybe they came in an album, but I don't know what they would have been used for. So like magic stars, but I don't know what the magic stars are from. I don't know what the pig pen puzzler is. Like, so, you get this little weird piece, but you get Old MacDonald Had a Farm. You get a Peter Pan records. So you get some great graphics on these, both front and back. But again, these are just the sleeves. This is not, there is no record in any of these. Lazy Mary and Good Morning Mary Sunshine. This one has the music on the back. This one is Brahms' Lullaby. It's a Voco record. You also got Rockabye Baby that also has music on the back. Got something from Bobo Link Records. Where Has My Little Dog Gone? And The Frog and the Ox. The barn burners that those are. And then this was the Disney one. So the Happy Birthday, Walt Disney's Happy Birthday, and it's a little golden record. So you've got all of the major Disney characters on that one. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sleeves plus the little glassine piece. You want this set of 5. And I agree, Stephanie. I just think the graphics are cool enough that, again, because I'm getting into ephemera, like, what are you going to do with ephemera? You can just shove it in a drawer. But these in a simple frame would be so cool because people will know exactly what they are. And you could decorate a kid's room. You could decorate your bathroom. Like we all remember these from growing up. So this is a set of 5 sleeves plus the glassine piece for $5. And to get this set, you can get it by giving me number 74. There is then another set, which has a different number. And this one has different albums. So again, it's got the piece of glassine. So again, some games on here that I don't really understand. So with this one is Playtime Non-Breakable Columbia record, Get Along Little Doggy, and Big Rock Candy Mountain. So you get some great cowboy graphics there. Then I've got Peter Pan records, Jingle Bells, and Oh Little Town of Bethlehem. Then we've got a little Golden Book record. And I see you, Tammy Renee, for the first set of albums, sleeves. So I'll get you that. This is a little golden record. So this one's Turkey in the Straw and Oh Susanna. So again, kind of like some little Western style art with all the titles in the back. This one is the only duplicate in the set. So this is another version or another copy of that Disney Happy Birthday. So if you get this one, you will get one duplicate, but this is the only duplicate of all of them. So then there's that one, and then another Bobolink, but this is a different Bobolink. This is Humpty Dumpty and Farajaka, with then the bird Bobolink thing on the back. So that's another set of 5 with another glassine piece. That is also $5. That one you get by giving me number 80. I'm going to mark down that Tammy Renee Walker is taking number 74. So then that batch is number 80. And then the third batch also has 5 plus the glassine sleeve. This one, and maybe if you like Google these, you maybe can figure out, like this one's scrambled words. That's fairly easy. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. That first word, I actually didn't know what it was. AHEV. I'm like, how do you switch that? Okay, so have. So another piece of glassine. And then this one has Christmas carols. So you got the little angels on this one. This one is Stand Up for Jesus and Away in the Manger. This is a Playtime Unbreakable Columbia record. And then another Playtime Columbia record, Jesus Loves Me and Children of the Heavenly King. So I kind of put all of the Christmas and religious ones together. This one is Playtime, Now the Day is Over and Jesus Calls Us. And then the last one is a Playtime with Jesus, Tender Shepherd, and Savior Teach Me Day by Day. So you have 5 sleeves there, plus the glassine. That's also $5. And so you can get the Sunday Jesus special for $5 by giving me number 89. $5.89 gets you the last set of sleeves. Okay, so those were a fun grab. All right, where are my royals? Where are my Anglophiles and my royal family lovers? These were just something I kind of took a flyer on. These are first day issues from England from Prince Charles and Diana's wedding. Now, I've seen in the United States, we do first day issues as well. But what I'd never seen before is this one is the one for Prince Charles, dated with their wedding announcement. It actually has an insert. And it says the royal wedding, July 29th, 1981. Does everyone remember that? I remember waking up at like 5 o'clock in the morning in order to be able to watch it. It is with great pleasure that the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh announced the betrothal of their beloved son, Prince. So it's a first day of issue. You can see it's got this postage stamp and then the mark of 1981. But it then has this like card. And I'd never seen these cards before. So this one is in the Prince Charles. There's another one in the Lady Di cover. So again, postage stamp, but it's a different. So this is the Althorpe stamp. And this one was something else. Unfortunately, her card had the envelope itself ripped. That's how it was when I got it, but it has also the same royal wedding insert. And then a third one, which also has an insert, same insert, but this one is the two of them together. So this is actually their wedding. So that one has St. Paul's Cathedral stamped for July 22nd, and then the postage stamp of the two of them, and then an image from their wedding. So most of the first day issue stamps that are envelopes I'm familiar with are just the envelopes here in the United States. Maybe they did do things like this, and I just never collected them, but I've also never come across them when I do the covers. So these were fun. I decided to keep them as a set. So you get the Prince Charles, the Lady Diana, and their wedding piece, and you get all 3 of those for $20. So $20 for the 3 first day issue covers, $20 by giving me number 90. $20, number 90 for the Prince Charles, Lady Diana postage. All right. We're going to do a pop quiz. I'm going to show you some designs from the past, and you have to tell me what year you think this is from. So this is a Sherwin-Williams decorating. I'm going to cover the thing. So it's a Sherwin-Williams decorating ideas book. And you can see the cover image here. And inside, it has decorating ideas for all of your different rooms for a specific year. So just like they do now, like what's the color of the year, all those other things. So we're going to just open up. So get in the swing with red, orange, and pink. What year do you think this is selling? When was this look the designer look? So check out that bathroom with the yellow tiled sink, the coral colored tub and matching tile. And then you've got the kitchen, full color. Oh, actually, I guess that's actually an office because there's a little director's chair. And then like a little, I don't know, outdoor dining. Okay, so Halem's a little high at 72. Sandra's a little high at 69. So we're earlier than 69. Let's see if this changes. So we got the next page. So 73, Rebecca's too high. 69 is warmest, but it's still too high. So check out the bright color, the yellow chairs. Check out that fireplace. Okay, 66 got closer, but we've now we're on the other side. So 65 and 66 are too low. 69 is too high. No worries, Tammy. Thanks for joining. Let's see. So we've got some furniture designs. So we're definitely in the 60s, but we haven't hit it on there yet. So just all these, and Halo. Oh, let's see who got it first. Looks like Val got it first. 67. 1967 decorating ideas from SherwinWilliams and color trends. So there's all of these fabrics in the back. Like some of these I kind of remember, but I will be honest, I knew right. I bought it knowing it was 1967, and I'm looking through it going, this did not look like 1967 to me. So it's one of those cases we all get kind of in our head what were the designs. And, you also figure, just like they do today, this is what the design houses were doing. Well, that doesn't really trickle down to any of the rest of us for a couple of years. So when the first guesses were coming in at 69, 70, 71, that's probably more along the lines of what I would have thought this was. It's not quite the Mad Men look, which would have been earlier. But some really super saturated colors. So I was a little surprised by that. So I thought this was a lot of fun. So, we're at the tail end. We're not really in mid-century modern anymore, but we've just check out that chair. So we've got 1967 decorating ideas. It is available for $9. And you can get that by giving number 31. $9.31 for the decorating ideas book. All right. What else do we have? We've got a piece of wood. So this I thought was fun. I just really liked this, but it's also one of those pieces that's kind of impossible to tell when it was made. It could have been made last year. It could have been made 50 years ago. It is basically just a raw edge, lathe turned, I think, candlestick holder. You kind of feel inside like it's really rough inside. So, I mean, it could be a vase, but it really wouldn't hold all that much water. So I think it is designed to be a candle holder, but they did a beautiful job on the inside. Just look at what they did, the way they cut the wood so that the graining all shows up around the outside of what, the candle that you put in there. I mean, this is just a totally natural piece. It's got the live edge all the way around, a really slender base, and nice and smooth. Then you get back to the raw live edge again. So there is the remnants of a tag on the bottom that it seem to indicate it is older. So it would have said made in something. And I'm going to assume it says made in People's Republic of China. So it hasn't been called the People's Republic of China in a while. But I don't know exactly how it helps me date it. But I would think that this is like 70s or 80s is probably when this is done. But I just think this is gorgeous. And I think this goes with a modern, like if you've got a contemporary design or you've got a 100-year-old tiger oak piano, you've got just a beautiful piece of wood that just adds a nice little contrast to whatever you're doing. So I just think this is absolutely gorgeous. I paid up for this because I really think it's just an attractive decorative piece. It doesn't sell here. It'll sell in my booth, I'm sure. but I'm going to sell it here for 20 bucks. So $20 for the live edge candlestick holder / vase by giving me number 5. $20, number 5 for the live edge wood. All right. I've shown a couple of these in the past. I've been picking these up to resell in my booth, but some of the more interesting ones I think you guys might enjoy. I am selling some menus. I'm still collecting the cruise ship menus for my own collection, and those I'm really focusing on. All right, so I see a Val. Val is getting the vase for the live edge vase. So thanks so much, Val, for picking that up. So I'm still keeping the cruise ship menus that are dated prior to World War II. And so I am selling some of the cruise ship menus, but I'm also starting to pick up other menus. And I just couldn't pass this one up. And why I was finding it on the East Coast, I do not know. So this is the Buffalo Dining Room at Mount Rushmore in Mount Rushmore National Memorial in Black Hills, South Dakota. It is a postcard menu because you can actually turn this into a postcard. Unfortunately, somewhere along the line, it must have had a price tag on it. And when somebody took it off, the paper tore. So you see there's a little, the 2 line, there's a little damage to it. So that sucks. And actually, it didn't look, it looks like there's some writing in there. I hadn't noticed that. I hadn't had a bright enough light to see that. So it looks like there's some old writing on there too, but it doesn't look like this was ever used because there was never a stamp. That's clear. So that's clean. So that was never had a stamp on it. And then on the inside is the actual menu. So we are very fortunate in being able to serve you delicious buffalo meat. So they are serving buffalo meat at the Buffalo Dining Room. So you got who the printer is. I don't think this one had a date on it, if I remember correctly. I'd say it's probably 60s or 70s. So the Rushmore Famous Special Dinner, the Talk of the Hills, doesn't say what the dinner is, just it's a special dinner, it changed at some point. It became $1.75. Home style pan fried chicken is $2. Fresh Black Hills trout is $2. So this might be getting like 70s to 80s because that actually seems kind of expensive for the 60s. It's a T-bone steak for $4.50. So cheap, but 60s, that probably would have been a lot cheaper. So I don't know. I don't actually know the era of this, but how cool is this? Again, no one particularly needs a menu from Mount Rushmore, but you put that in a frame. It says right on there, it's the dining room. Everyone's going to know it's a menu. It is just cool as can be. And it's only $15. And it'll ship for like nothing, because it'll basically go in an envelope. So $15 for the Buffalo Dining Room menu, $15 by giving me number 56. $15.56 for the Buffalo menu. All right. Ooh, I picked this up. One of my favorite pieces that I picked up. So I did a live video I think it was on Sunday. It was the last day of my trip. Or Saturday, last day of my trip. I went to a antique shop, and Scott from the Iowa City Antiques was exhibiting there. And I picked up a toll bowl for myself. And then I also, because I was doing the live video, they had a beautiful piece of piece of pewter that was stamped, marked 1822. And Heather Elizabeth from Antique Agenda saw it during the video. She bought it. As a result of the live video. And while I was there, they also had this. And how sweet is this? So this is a little handmade, hand appliqued little handkerchief. Please, they kept calling it a purse. I really don't think this would have held much as a purse. And there's no real way to hold it. So I don't really think this was something that was designed to go out of the home. It kind of reminded me of like a lingerie bag type thing, but it's a little small for lingerie, but I think it would have been about the right size for handkerchiefs. So I do think that this is something that would have been on your dressing table or your nightstand that would have just held your little square handkerchiefs. I don't know if anyone's ever seen something like this. Maybe it's something else, but it's just, a piece of rough sewn linen. But then applique these absolutely gorgeous flowers in the corners. And then the flap actually has the cut work where they're cut away. So you can see it's all done by hand, some pretty wide stitches that were done. So this is just a little sweet piece. Maybe it was made by a kid. I just thought it was gorgeous. and I really, really like it. So I am selling it here for 25 bucks. So $25 for the little applique. And I would say this is probably the 20s or the 30s would be my guess, based on the style of those flowers, probably the 30s. Just super sweet piece. It's $25 and you can get it by giving me number 96. $25.96 for the little linen purse. All right. I don't think the Easter stamp sold, so I won't. Well, I'll show this one other piece. The others were individual stamps, and that's how I bought them. But evidently, the individual stamps originally came on little sheets like this. So this is just put into a sleeve because this was going to go to the booth, but I hadn't gotten into the booth today, so I'm selling it here. So you can see the little cutout of the stamp is right there. So you got the little spot where Donald is painting the Easter eggs, but it's part of a larger image. So you can see the chicken is laying the eggs and Mickey is painting one of them, but Donald is the only one that's the stamp. So I don't know if all of the stamp designs would have had an original page like this. That set of stamps that I was selling, I don't think anyone picked it up, but that was just, I bought them loose. But that one has a little backup image. So I'm selling the whole image for $5. So $5 for the bigger stamp. Again, a cute piece to be able to frame something for Easter. They're from says right on there, 1984. $5 by giving me number 1 for the Mickey and Donald Easter decorating. Okay. We didn't have any takers on the Royals. On the Royals first day of issue, but I also came across, these were kind of cool. And again, with inserts that I'd never seen before. Concord first day of issues. So as we all know, the Concord no longer exists, but these were representing the first, these were all honoring specific flights. So this was the British Airways Concorde World Cup final special flight between Madrid and Manchester. So it was a specific thing for their soccer, their football of the World Cup final in 1982. And again, it has a cool insert. So it's got this card that I'm showing the back of. It's got this card that then goes into the envelope that talks about the flight details and the other information about the Concorde flight. So this one is for the World Cup 1982 with the little card insert and the España stamp, everything on there. So you got the Concorde piece of history. These are $8 and you can get this one for by giving number 15. $8, number 15 for the Concorde Madrid to Manchester flight. All right. Do we have any fashion mavens out there? So these I picked up kind of on a rider, hoping that they will be popular. Because I paid up for them, but they're kind of cool. So I have 2. They are going to my little huckster world and also taking my contemporary world. For those who followed me for a while, you know that I actually, with my ex-wife, used to own a fabric store. We owned a quilt store for 10 years. And so what these are fashion sales cards for Harford frocks that have the fabric swatches on them. So these would have been sold. These were from the 30s. So these would have been sold to either department stores or to dress houses, whatever the case, or maybe fabric shops. The idea that this is what the dress would look like, and you could order it in these prints. So there's some great information on here from a sales perspective, because you've got the models, the pricing on these, color for the model number 54, novelty print, blue only, sizes 14 and 16 years, and then 36, 38, 40, 42, and 44 bust. Length for 44 inches to 47 inches. So it gave all of these details of what these dresses were going to look like. And so this one, you had this little blue and white fabric option, or the all blue and all pink. And then this one had illustrations of 2 of the dresses. Has Fruit of the Loom prints there in the middle. So it's kind of like a little advertising piece for both Fruit of the Loom as well as Harford frocks. And this one had blue and pink options, colorways. This one has kind of like a green and red and white polka dot option. So these were also Fruit of the Loom prints, guaranteed genuine, had the model numbers, all for Hartford frocks. So these are $15 each, which is barely more than what I paid for them. But I thought they were cool and I wanted to sell them. So $15 for the one with the photographs is number 92. And for the one with the illustrations is $15. And you get that one by giving me number 86. So 86 and 92 give you the two different options of the advertising fashion frock with color swatches. And let's see. This is kind of a cool piece. This has actually been in my personal collection, and I've been using it to store some of the things that I was selling. And I finally sold out, or sold. I was using this to hold. Got a bunch of Soviet pins, and I finally bagged them all up, and they're all now currently at the booth. And so suddenly I have this spooner that is no longer in use. So this is an EAPG. I looked up the pattern at one point. You can see in the corners on the handles are little lions. I mean, it's just this absolutely decorative piece, absolutely beautiful piece. Hartley and something, I think, was the name of the company. I think it was from 1880s. It has the rope design on the bottom and the two handles. You know, there's bubbles in the glass. You know, this was EAPG. It's early glass, early American pressed glass. It was an early design. You know, it's not going to be perfect. It wasn't expensive at the time. It's not expensive now. You can see there's a seam in it, and it's a 3-piece mold. So you can see there's actually 3 seams. So you've got a seam there, and then a third of the way around, you've got another seam, and a third of the way around, you've got another seam. So they could put more detail into it because there are more pieces of the mold. Absolutely gorgeous piece. I think it's a spooner. It's a little big to be like a sugar bowl. So I think it's a spooner. It's a little low to be a vase, but maybe a celery vase, but I think it's a little short for a celery vase. I think it's a spooner. It is $20. So $20 for the EAPG. It's a good size piece. It is almost 6 inches tall. So for the good size spooner EAPG, you get $20, and you get that by giving me number 53. $20, 53 for the spooner. Okay, only got a couple other things. I don't know. The Royalists didn't want any of the Charles and Diana, so let's go backwards another 50, 60 years. Who remembers Wallace Simpson? So this is actually an American magazine that was part of Modern Screen. So it was advertising Modern Screen magazine on the inside of this. But this one was the royal romance and life story of Mrs. Wallace Simpson, the woman that the king gave up his throne for because she was twice divorced. He could not marry a divorced woman. So he gave up the throne, and Queen Elizabeth II's father became king instead. So Queen Elizabeth would not have been queen had she not been in the picture. So this is actually in fantastic condition, considering this would be from the 30s. So you've got the cover image illustration of Wallace Simpson. You've got the lovely ad in the back for portable to you advertisement and of a typewriter. And on the inside, you've got some fantastic photography of just everything. So like Prince Charming. So you're dealing with the king. Some images of Wallace Simpson. It's just a really cool piece. And I want to make sure I have not lost you guys. Let me bring it back up because I've not seen the chat change in a little while. So I just want to make sure you guys are still there. That makes you just say something. If somebody can say hi really quick, just want to make sure you guys are still there. So this is Mrs. Wallace Simpson magazine, again, in great condition. There's no torn pages. Oh, look at the little puppy dog. Okay, thank you for those of you telling me that you're still here. Got the little, like, is that like a little Karen Terror? Is that like Toto? And so Val was taking, oh, never mind. I saw that one. I had to refresh and I messed up. So we've just got some great imagery. So this is a lovely Wallace Simpson magazine, $15 by giving me number 99. $15, number 99. Also from the 30s, another great piece of ephemera. This is a 1937 issue of Saturday Evening Post. Check out the illustration of the aircraft engine on that one. So you've got the 5 cents a copy. Unfortunately, there's a sticker or something on there, so it's August, but it still says 1937. Fantastic full-size image on the back. Breakfast of Champions, the original Wheaties box. And throughout, you're just going to have some fantastic full-page ads. So full-page ad for the Frigidaire. Let them highball the highway. You know, some great illustration of cars. So a Goodyear tire ad. Check out the front end of that Chrysler. And that's the thing about these magazines. If they get cut apart and sold individually, the individual pictures and ads can typically sell like $2, $3, $5, $10 a piece, depending on what they're advertising. You can pick up a magazine much cheaper and have the articles to go along with it, and then some of the cool art. And then when you're done, you can cut these images out yourself, and you can frame them and make them part of your own collection. So Saturday Evening Post from 1937. This is $15, and you can get that by giving me number 93. $15, number 93 for the Saturday Evening Post. And I think that's it. So I have a couple of things that didn't sell, so I can show those for anyone who came in late. But I didn't want this to become a super long sale. So I cranked through quite a bit and appreciate everyone who joined in. I don't know if something else started at the top of the hour, because I could see the number of people that are still with me has cut down a lot. So I know there's a lot of competition out there. So for the pieces that did, so Melody's saying, yes, please. So I will show some of the pieces that did not sell. So appreciate everyone that did join. So if you're going to be signing off again, tomorrow and Saturday will be the Instagram sale, hashtag PaperNerd41. I will be posting on there, but there's 45 resellers who are all participating. So some great ephemera that you can pick up on that. Next Tuesday, I will be on Scott's channel, the Old Curiosity Shop. That will not be a sale. We'll just be having a chat. We're going to be talking about ephemera. Since I've been doing so much with that, we're going to be sharing some of our favorite pieces of ephemera and playing some games. And then next Thursday, I am part of the Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties Shop Hop. So that is a pre-recorded sale, and it's running throughout Thursday evening. Mine will drop at the same time that my show normally starts. So at 8 o'clock Eastern will be when my video will run. That one will be another, it'll probably be a $5 ephemera sale. I'll have something different than what I showed here. But those are pre-recorded sales, and you hop from channel to channel. I think the first one starts at 4 p.m. Eastern, if I remember right, or maybe 5 p.m. Eastern, and runs until I think 9 p.m. Eastern. There's 10 sellers that are participating there, and that's here on YouTube, so you can hop between all of those. And then I'll reschedule the jewelry sale. I'll try again. Maybe I'll push it into April when it probably won't snow. So I'll try and do something. I'll still get to the shop to do a live sale with the rest of the jewelry there, because there's some fantastic pieces at such great prices. I'd love to be able to sell it to you, but the snow did not cooperate for me today. So I apologize for those of you who came for that. But most of the jewelry sold. I think I have a couple of pieces that didn't, so I'll be able to show those. And so appreciate all of you that have been with me so far. So if you want to sign off, you can sign off. For those of you who joined late and wanted to see what was still available, for Melody, I know you collect these. You probably already have these. This was a pair of pins from World War I Red Cross. It was the pair that said, one of them says "We serve" and the other one says "I serve." So this one, you got a pair of those pins for $8 by giving me number 77. So that pair was still available. The other pin that was still available was the sterling silver Wishbone. So this is marked sterling, but it doesn't have a maker's mark on it. So it's got the pretty wide pin across the top, and then it's got the faceted polishing, so you kind of have that little flare flash to it. This is $12, and you give that by giving me number 78. So those two pieces. This I included with the jewelry. This will probably be ending to eBay, but it's like a jewelry-esque piece. It is the Estee Lauder solid perfume case. It was a Young Dew was the scent, and it's part of the Jeweler's Treasures collection. And it has the agate top with the cabochon blue stone in the corner. It does have the remnants of the solid scent in there stamped at the top, and it does still have the maker's label on the bottom, because this was reissued, I think, in the 80s. They did, but the ones in the 80s actually have the 80s on there, has their website, or it must be the 90s because I had the website. So this is the original one. So that is available for $25, and that was number 95. Let's see. We had that sold. We had the Greek puzzle. It was $6 for the Greek island puzzle, number 76. The feather art. This was a set of 12 of these handmade feather bird art bridge tally cards. Price broke it down to $1.50 each. So you get 12, the entire set of 12 for $18. So you get $18, number 64. That's for the feather art bridge set. The Raku vase did not sell. That one is $15, number 50. And let's see, the Blanco vase did not sell. So this is the Blanco bottle. It is missing its stopper, but they still sell fairly regularly on eBay. So this one I was selling for $35 for the Blanco blue. And the menu did not sell. So we've got the Buffalo Dining Room Mount Rushmore menu, $15 by giving me number 56. And we had a couple sets of album, little kids records sleeves. Tammy bought one set, but we still had two other sets available that had the little artwork of the Disney, little Disney Happy Birthday with all the Disney characters. And these are just the sleeves. There are no records in these. So Bobo Link, Playtime, and Peter Pan records. So that was $5, number 80. And that was pretty much it. I don't think you missed much anything else. There was I think you had already joined by the time we did the decorating idea, because Halen was one that guessed the right year. So I think you saw that. Saw the Concord. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. So again, thanks so much everyone for joining. I do really appreciate your support. It's one of those cases where I know I was gone for a long time, and it's like YouTube loves punishing me because I was gone, so I wasn't part of the algorithm. So now that I'm trying to come back, I'm really having to work for it. So I do appreciate you guys commenting, watching the videos. Thanks, Sandra. Watching the videos, commenting on the video. Even if you don't watch a full video, just making a comment, liking it, showing that there's some interaction is reminding YouTube that, there are still those of us who are trying to do these videos, and that hopefully people are out there watching them. But it is difficult. I've posted 5 or 6 videos in the last 2 weeks, and none of them have broken 100 views. And some of them, like the little dollhouse video that I showed, the entire video was like 5 minutes long. It took me almost 2 hours to edit that thing because I had so many clips, and the way I was trying to do it, I tried to do a voiceover for a little while, and I just couldn't get it to work. So I put all this time into it, and I think that's gotten like 50 views. It's just one of those cases. I need to do it for me, not for everybody else. But then it's like, I really get excited by something. And then once upon a time, more people were home, they weren't out and about. So more people were watching YouTube. So even though I still wouldn't get thousands of views, I'd get hundreds of views, and I'd feel better. I'm like, oh, cool, people saw this. It's harder now. So I'm trying to get back into it. I'm really trying to feed the algorithm for Instagram. I'm posting a video on Instagram every single day. Not seeing that's making a difference yet, but I'm trying. So I'm trying to do a little bit more on YouTube. So I really appreciate those of you that are joining this. it does motivate me to do more. And there's a functional standpoint. I have a ton of stuff I need to sell. So I'm going to sell in the booth. I'm going to start listing online and then selling here. I do appreciate when people are interested in what I have to sell. So thank you all of you that did participate. Keep watching my Instagram. That was the other thing I was going to say. So keep watching my Instagram. At least during the week, I don't know on the weekend, at least during the week, I'm doing the 90 seconds of vintage. So I've had a video every week this week, and several of you, Tammy Renee Walker, bought some. I can combine shipping with some of the other items. So, I'll just always hold on to those because those tend to be lighter weight, inexpensive items. I can keep them together to save on postage. So if you're on Instagram, please make sure you watch those videos as well. And maybe you'll find some fun, inexpensive items there too. So again, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for your trust in Trusty Huckster, and catch me in some of the other things I've got coming up over the next couple of weeks. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.